Cycle Talk TV is brought to you by Ducati, Kawasaki, KTM, Harley-Davidson, On Two Wheels Motorsports, Polaris, Triumph and Victory. On Cycle Talk TV tonight, we have the Indian Chief Vintage. We have the KTM 350 EXC F Enduro. We have interviews. We've got products. But let's kick it all off with the Harley-Davidson V-Rod Muscle.
Harley-Davidson might already have a Sportster model. In fact, it's got a few of them. But the V-Rod Muscle, in my opinion, is Harley-Davidson's true Sportster. With over 120 horsepower and crap loads of torque, it is Harley's most powerful production motorcycle. And with a top speed of over 120 mile an hour, no other Harley, unless it's substantially modified, is going to stay with this bike. But is it all engine? Does the rest of the bike allow you to explore the engine's performance? Well, it does to a point. You see, it weighs in near enough to 300 kilos, ready to rumble. Having a 240 rear tyre and a wheelbase of 1.7 metres, it is more a traffic light racer than it is a track star. But to be honest, it doesn't really detract from the overall experience, because you know that just by looking at it. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be a lot of fun, or it can't be a lot of fun in a nice, tight, winding road situation. With a 240 tyre, you do have to muscle it into the corner and hold it there, more so than you would with a bike with a smaller rear tyre, but that's just part of the fun. And that big tyre is really a big part of the styling exercise anyway. Now, the 5-speed gearbox is very slick, especially compared to air-cooled Harley engines. And first gear is very tall, but that's okay. And it's even got a slipper clutch. Now, that's something you normally find on more track-focused bikes. But when you are braking hard into a corner and going down through the gears, you definitely can feel it working. Now, as I said, the bike does weigh a shade over 300 kilos, so it is quite heavy, but pulling it up from the high speeds that this bike is capable of is really easy because of those great front brakes. And the rear brake's quite good too. And this is no doubt helped by the low centre of gravity, the long wheelbase and that raked out front end. Stability is very good. Out on the open road, this bike is a lot of fun to ride. Now, you might think it's just a boulevard cruiser or a traffic light racer, but it's better than that. It's more than that. In nice winding roads, especially on good surfaces, once you get the bike muscled in, those inverted forks on the front work really well. It's got more ground clearance than what you might think. The rear suspension's pretty good. Could have a little bit more travel, but overall, it's hard to beat, and it's just a lot of fun to ride. If you come from other styles of bikes to cruisers, especially a performance cruiser like this, you're best off adapting your riding style to suit the bike rather than the other way around. That way then you get the best out of it. And the best way to ride this bike, especially in tight roads, is the point and squirt method. It's unbelievable then, and you can ride it in decently parts. But there's more to the V-Rod Muscle really than what you might think. Yes, it is a performance cruiser, but you can easily tour on this bike too. A friend of mine's got a V-Rod Muscle, and he's fitted out with a few genuine Harley-Davidson accessories like a screen, small backrest and panniers. And they do fit nicely with the style of the bike, and as a result, he tours quite long distances on that motorcycle. So even though the V-Rod Muscle is probably one of the sportiest of Harley-Davidson's offerings and the most different, it still has enough Harley-Davidson DNA to do what they do best, and that is out there cruising along, enjoying life in the best possible way, and that's on a motorcycle.
The V-Rod Muscle is available in 4 different colours from your Harley-Davidson dealer. Priced from $26,995. You can get a lot more information from harleydavidson.com.au.
There's a very good reason why many people think the KTM 350 EXC-F is the perfect enduro motorcycle. It's fast, light and nimble, and straight out of the box it just looks and feels really refined. With its versatility and superb performance, the KTM 350 4-stroke single is well suited to a large variety of riders, from your weekend warriors all the way to your pro enduro racers. Aesthetically, the 2015 KTM 350 has some funky new graphics. It also has the look of the KTM race teams with its orange frame and black rims. The handlebars, grips and handguards have all been improved, and improvements to the speedo clutch and O-ring for the oil pump suction screen. There is also a new silencer which KTM claims reduces noise levels and improves performance. The KTM 350 has Brembo brakes front and rear. On the front you have a 260mm disc and on the back a 220. So what is the KTM 350 EXCF like to ride? Well, I rang up my old mate Dave Rose, a former Australian off-road champion, and we headed for the bush to find out.
I come out with an open mind just to have a ride, but to come out and jump on it, I could not believe how smooth and responsive the motor was. A 350cc bike delivers great amount of power. It's just more than what you need in the bush. The tight stuff was really easy to manage the power, and then when you get on the open roads, release the power and away you go. With the WP suspension, it's very easy to dial in. I found it was a little bit stiff to start with, but with the easy adjustment system that's on there, just backing off the compression and the dampening, just softened it up a little bit, and you could really jump across ruts so easy, going uphill, changing lines, direction. The suspension is so forgiving. You'll find the contour of the plastics really suit the rider. You can move your body weight from the front to the back of the seat, you know, depending if you're going downhill or you want to stop quick, you can move that really easy. The brakes are really smooth to use. The Brembo brakes have been around for a long time, and you can notice the big discs on the bike pull you up with ease. As soon as you fire the motor up and you turn the throttle, you can feel there is something special there, you know, and you can't wait to release that power. The fuel-injected 350 is everything that you want out of the bike. For the racers, they just absolutely love it, you know, and you can see why. I just had such a ball today riding through the forest and testing it all out, so it's really opened my eyes up, and I really enjoyed the bike.
The KTM 350 EXCF is available now from KTM dealers right around the country. 2015 model will cost you $13,495 plus government and dealer charges. More information from ktm.com.au.
Fearless innovation starts with an attitude. While others claim to be ahead of the curve, we're already leaning into the next one. We're about setting the precedent year after year and letting the rest play catch up. They ride to keep up with today. We ride to own tomorrow.
Lowrider is back and rides even lower. road racing. For some reason held a fascination for me.
Well, he's growing up watching it.
It's my dream, but he's probably taken on some of that.
And knowing Dad want to do it, I've always wanted to do it.
Recently on Cycle Talk TV, I tested the Indian Scout. The new Indian for 2015 is 1133 cc's, over 250 kilos, and Indian describes it as a midweight. And the reason it's called a midweight is because the other machines in the Indian range are much, much bigger. This is the 1811cc Indian Chief Vintage. It's at the heavy end of heavyweight. Over 350 kilos, this is a very big, serious motorcycle. The engine is called the Thunderstroke 111, 111 cubic inches. A lot of grunt from a very big power plant. Peak torque reached at just 3,000 RPM, and it's 138.9 Newton meters of torque. So this thing will take off like a startled rabbit from the traffic lights if you want it to. But very, very few owners will ever bother doing that. This particular bike's been lent to us from Bryson Motorcycles in Newcastle, and they've fit accessory pipes from Indian, and there's also some really cool retro fishtail ones available as well, if that's what you're into. At $31,495, this is an expensive motorcycle, but you're getting an awful lot for your money. It's a very big bike. The engine looks like it was designed in the 1940s, but it's got a wet clutch, 6-speed gearbox, overdrive, and it'll cruise on any speed you basically want. Although the average member of the public, this machine looks like it was designed and built in the 1940s. As motorcyclists, we can look at it and know that, no, it's a modern motorcycle and it rides like a modern motorcycle. So even though it's a very big, heavy motorcycle, it's got a very stiff aluminium chassis. Now, this means it actually handles pretty well. Sure, there's not mountains of cornering clearance with those footboards, but this isn't the type of motorcycle that you're going to be really exploring that. But it's good to know that if you do start chasing someone up a twisty road, the bike isn't going to start handling like a wet whale. And if you do hit a bump mid-corner, it doesn't want to throw you out of the seat, unlike some cruisers, especially ones that are more than 10 years old. So you're buying a modern motorcycle that looks like a retro, and it absolutely looks gorgeous. This is a genuine leather seat. It's beautiful leather. They had a few issues with the initial batches a year or so ago, and they've gone to a slightly different treatment. So it does feel a little different to the original seats from when they first came out, but they're much better protected from UV now. Same for the saddlebag. Genuine leather saddlebags, made in a very traditional manner, and they just look beautiful. Tassels on it, very traditional, very stylish, and velcroed on, so you can actually take them off very quickly if you don't like them. Styling goes right through to the heavily balanced guards. Hidden in there is ABS brakes on big discs, so the bike will stop very quickly and safely if you want it to. For cruising on the freeway, you've got cruise control. No motorcycle from the 1940s had that. Obviously it's fuel injected and runs catalytic converters, all those sort of modern conveniences that are required these days. The instruments, again, in a big nacelle on the tank, look, again, a bit like they came out of the 40s, although there's a big start button on the top and there's an LCD panel in the Speedo. Shows you a lot more information than you get from the older bikes as well. There's a lot to like about the Indian Chief Vintage. In fact, there's not a lot to criticise really. I mean, you could criticise the fact that it's so big and heavy and quite expensive. However, you know about that when you buy it. So owners will not complain about those things. And once you're riding it, there's very little to sort of criticise. It rides very, very well. It goes around corners well. It stops well, given that it's a big cruiser. I love the fact that these panniers are big enough to swallow enough for a weekend. Sure, they're not massive touring panniers and it's not designed to go away for around Australia in one go, but there's lots of accessories available from Indian as well. For a bike that's been produced as one of the first machines from what's effectively a new manufacturer with a new design and a whole new product range, the Indian Vintage is just well worth a look. And if you're in the market for a big, heavyweight cruiser / tourer, do yourself a favour, go and check them out at your Indian dealer. The Indian Chief Vintage is available now in 5 different colour schemes, priced from $31,495 right away. More information from your Indian dealer or indianmotorcycle.com.au.
And at first I think it's a joke. I mean, here's this guy, he's a business consultant, he doesn't look particularly fit, and he's planning to take part in the Dakar.
I'm here with Christophe Barrière-Varjou. Now, Christophe's an expat Frenchman, been living in Australia for 15 years, and is one of Australia's best exponents of the Dakar Rally. Welcome to our show, Christophe.
Thank you.
How did you get interested in the Paris-Dakar? Was there a point where you just become on your radar?
Motocross was my passion, then supercross, then racing in Southern California as well. And to me, the precision of the technique on riding a motorbike was paramount. 2004, I was kind of looking for next challenge, something else I could be doing. And just one day like this, close to my birthday, I said, well, why not the Dakar Rally? And that was it. It was just an instant decision. I said, okay, I'm going to do the Dakar Rally.
Going to get on this bike that he's never ridden to then undertake a 10,000 kilometre race across some of the harshest terrain in the world.
So, were you already living in Australia?
Yes, I was, yeah. I moved to Australia in 1999.
Why Australia? I mean, you obviously call Australia home now.
That's right,
You consider yourself an Australian.
Yeah, I've got the Australian passport,
Yeah.
I've got the accent, mate. And,
That's right. The last time you raced in the Dakar on a solo is what Dream Race is all about.
That's right, yeah.
So what year was that?
That was 2010. So
Okay.
2009, I had obviously I finished the Dakar in 2007 in Africa, across the finish line at the Lac Rose. 2008, the Dakar was cancelled. 2009, I had a freak accident at 5 kilometers an hour, still sitting on a motorbike, broke my arm. That should not have happened. And so I didn't want to finish the Dakar on a motorbike on a bad note. So I said, look, I need to go back, finish completely what I started. And we're going to try to make a film out of this to show what it takes to do the Dakar Rally, to all the effort and the sacrifices. People don't realize. They think you just put throw a bunch of money and everything is easy. It's not, especially from Australia. So it's a time difference, and dealing with Europe and all of that is difficult. So I wanted to record all of this. Obviously, no script. We had no idea what the story was going to be like. And I ran out of cash and didn't have enough money, so I had to do it the good old ways, working on the bike by myself, no mechanics. So it was tougher than, you know. Yeah, that's right.
So not only was it tough to actually do the event, filming the documentary had its own challenges, I guess.
That's correct, yeah. So I had a filmmaker, Simon Lee, that documented the event. It was the first Dakar for him, just the cameraman and his camera, and that was it. And plus me on the bike and having the helmet camera. So we filmed all of this, and the story turned out to be is a massive, almost life-changing story that people can relate to. And it's not about the Dakar Rally, it's not about doing the most dangerous race on the planet. It's really about yourself and how far you're willing to push your limits. And this is why the film has been so acclaimed internationally. We won so many awards, 4 awards, 7 nominations. And it's the first time in the 35-year history that a film about the Dakar Rally won any award.
I first saw Dream Racer, the film Dream Racer, on a plane heading to America. And I liked it that much that we decided to stock it here at Cycle Talk. So you can buy it from us. But more importantly, what Dream Racer does, I think, is give people the hope to live their own dreams. And everyone's dream's different. I've got my own dreams. Christoph's lived his dreams with the Dakar Rally. But it doesn't matter what your dream is. You watch this and I'm telling you, it will empower you to get off your backside and get out there and do what you want to do, because that's what it's all about.
The body just wants to keep on moving forward. And the mind is no longer driving the body is driving the mind.
The race is just a vehicle, it's all the things that you go through all year long trying to beat the time. The time is not stopping.
It's hell here. This is just hell.
3 days of riding a motorbike on extremely rough terrain without the use of one of your arms.
I've never suffered in my entire life like this.
He was 36, you know, how can this happen? He just died. So I'm gonna take him with me. He's gonna be my co-pilot.
If you don't go and chase your dreams, you don't know what's gonna happen the next day. You really don't know.
On the string, you hang on to it, even if the string starts ripping apart and you start falling off, you just hang on to it. You just make things happen. No matter what, you just hang on to it. What is it that you have done in your life that makes you say, yes, I'm happy having had such a life?
The Dream Racer DVD is available from motobooks.com.au or call the Cycle Talk office on 02 4956 9820 and it's priced at $24.95. Come down to On Two Wheels Motorsports, Sydney's best motorcycle shop and a proud sponsor of Cycle Talk TV, with a huge range of new Yamaha and Kawasaki motorcycles and ATVs, as well as a huge range of spares and all the accessories you're likely to need. On Two Wheels can help get you into the right bike at the right price with the right accessories and the right advice. On Two Wheels Motorsports, 304 Queen Street, Campbelltown. Find us online on social media or call us on 02 4625 7518.
Everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. What separates some of us, though, is what we throw a leg over after our pants are on. The new Harley-Davidson Breakout motorcycle. Breakout.
Hair, skin, skull, brains, the top of your spine. All these things live under the protection of your helmet. How good is the helmet you're wearing? Do you know what goes into making up a good helmet? Well, today we're going to have a very close look at the Kabuto Aeroblade 3. Kabuto's Aeroblade 3 is a street sports version of the top-of-the-range Kabuto FF5V, used by international racers around the world, including our own Alex Pickett, who wore one at the Isle of Man last year. The shell in the Kabuto Aeroblade 3 is made of composite material and comes in two shell sizes, so you're more likely to find a helmet that fits your head shape much more easily. The dual density impact liner is there to protect your scon. You can see the channel that directs the air from the front of the helmet through to the back of the helmet and out the rear outlet. You've got this channel too that siphons hot air up through your helmet and out through the rear vent. The patented side trims will also allow air to come in the side of the helmet and wick out through this channel at the back. So this helmet has a great ventilation system and allows a large volume of air to go through to keep your head cool. The Kabuto Aeroblade 3 has a Cool Max interior and liners that will keep your head cool. It has removable cheek pads and strap covers so that they're easy to wash. It has a patented system of wake stabilisers. It was developed in a wind tunnel so that when you're riding, you have less fatigue when you turn your head, so you're not fighting the wind and you don't get that stiff sore neck while you're riding. The other good thing about the Kabuto Aeroblade 3 helmet is that it shares the same quick release visor system as the FF5V. Simply push down, visor out, slide it back in, simple. Screens are also available, clear, tint, various colours, and there's even an anti-fog insert available. Very good.
The Kabuto Aeroblade 3 is available from motorcycle dealers right around the country. They're priced from $375 and you can get more information from motonational.com.au. Hope you've enjoyed the final episode of Cycle Talk TV for 2014. We're planning to come back bigger and better in 2015.
Now, if you've been unlucky enough to miss any of the 2014 episodes, you can go to our website www.cycletalk.com.au where you'll find them all.
You'll also be able to get Cycle Talk TV on DVD soon, and also check out cycletalk.com.au for information on Eyes Wide Open, the story of Chris and Alex Pickett racing at the Isle of Man.
Look, season one's been a lot of fun, a lot of work. We've got to ride some amazing motorcycles, old and new, and the highlight for me was riding the Vincent Repeat, something I've wanted to do since, I was a young tacker. So, what was your highlight?
My highlight, Chris, was watching you fall off it. Now that was back in episode 1. So you can catch that on cycletalk.com.au. So thanks to all you viewers for watching Cycle Talk TV. Hope you keep up with us on Facebook, download the magazine, read the print edition, and keep in touch with Cycle Talk, and watch out for us in 2015.
See you next year.
Sophie Lovett, me, no.
Head down to your Harley-Davidson.
So today we're going to take a look at, Today we're going to take
a look at the KTM 390 Duke. Yeah.
These summer... The ladies are wearing these summer airflow jackets. Now they've got reflective piping, YKK zips, and zip-out waterproof lining. Now, all we need to do is Rebecca to repeat what I just said, and we'll be right.
Hi, all my Australian friends out there. Hey, we got Cycle Talk, Cycle Torque. You be able to edit this stuff or what?